Start with Uecker, is that about it?
It's all right. What do you got?
What's the moment like back there for everybody?
With Yuki? Yeah, it's special every time he's around. You know, you shouldn't take it for granted. He's the man. He means a lot to this place. Anybody that's spent any kind of time here, knows how special Bob is.
Yelly, we can see the eyes. He's clearly been through a lot tonight. Just take us through. What's the emotion for that? Is it over, or is the run that you had, or?
No, for me it was talking to Uke. That's kind of a tough one. But all the other stuff is it is what it is. It's a tough way for your season to end, but talking to Yuki, one-on-one was tough.
What do you see in the future for this team, based on what you saw tonight for the first 8 innings?
I mean, it's a bright future. It's you learn a lot about yourselves, like as a group and as a team when you go through those situations, and kind of the emphasis on why we harp on the little things throughout the year. It was a clean game for us. Game 3 we didn't play as clean. Game 1 and 2, and everybody played pretty clean. Game 3, and it was just it's how it goes. It sucks. There's really no way to explain it or say anything other than that's sports. But by far the hardest part of the night for me was talking to Bob and just all that stuff.
There is no one who epitomizes a champion the way this man does right here. There is no one out here. What an example for us to be with every single day. Bob Uecker. No doubt about it. Champagne in the eyes, awesome.
Ueck's in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster for a reason. He's exceptional at his craft. It's not just the great stories he tells. Ueck is very focused on always being at a Hall of Fame level. So he doesn't want to just be in the booth to be in the booth. His voice is as strong as ever, so it's not bad. He doesn't like us to talk about this either, but he turned, I think everybody knows now, he turned 90 on January 26th. And if you saw him in the clubhouse now talking to the players, he totally doesn't present at that age. For many years, well, especially when he first said, maybe you could slow down traveling, he would travel. And then he said, okay, I'm not going to travel, and then he still traveled. I say to him, you don't have to do the play-by-play for 9 innings. You can, or 7 of the 9. You can do less. He sort of grumbles about that idea. I say, you could flip roles with Levering, and he could do play-by-play, and you could do more color. He doesn't want to talk about that. And I have the same arrangement with him. I think that Bud did with a handshake. There's no contract. There's no, and it's always whatever. I feel it's his booth, and he can do what he wants in that booth, and that's true this year. Could add, if we're going to be blessing people today, I'd say God bless Bob Uecker.
Bob's the brand. He's the icon. He's everything Brewers. So he'll be here for opening day, calling the games, and then given Bob's schedule and his desires, we'll sort of take it day by day. Bob has been doing this for a very long time, and he's sort of the gold standard when it comes to broadcasting and everything Brewers. And we want him to set his schedule and determine what he wants to do. He spent a lot of time in spring training. Had a chance to talk to him quite a bit in Phoenix. He's very engaged, very excited, and he's ready for opening day. And after that, we'll do it one game at a time. He looks great, and he's raring to go, and he's got the great stories as always.
I guess I remember my childhood memories of Bob Uecker are really throwing the ball up on my roof, at my house and catching it and listening to him on the radio while the game was going on. That's my distinct memory of Brewers baseball in the summer, radio on outside, throwing the ball against the roof. If I'd get brave, I'd throw it on the other side of the roof and see if I could run around the house and catch it. And then I'd lose Uecker for a couple of minutes. But yeah, that was, I remember his voice for sure. For me now to have a chance to work with him, I'm going to miss, our time together this year. We're going to have time where we do the interviews. It's just not the same. I'll be honest with you, without being able to sit across from him and have him make me laugh and, hopefully make him laugh once in a while, which makes you feel like you've done something really good when you make a guy like that laugh. So anyway, I'm going to miss him this year, and I've talked to him a bunch and regularly, and I think we'll be just being able to see him at the park next week and be able to wave at him is going to be a thrill for me. I know that, and I know all the guys are looking forward to it. 50 years it's a long time. I mean, it's an incredible accomplishment, and he's meant so much to the Brewers. There's a great new picture in the clubhouse of a celebration last year in Cincinnati, and he's right in the middle of it. And that's for me, the best way, to honor him is that, to me, he's right in the middle of everything we do. And that's what you've earned after 50 years of being a great Brewer. I believe I don't know. I think we're going to do Zoom. Yeah. I'm anxious for Bob to do Zoom calls. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that's right. At home we'll be able to do it on a headset. That's right. But on the road, it'll be on the road, but I won't do it on the road with Bob, will I? We could now. He might like doing that. We should.
Oh, Tom, all of this stuff for me is totally new. What we're doing here tonight, Zoom. I didn't know what that was. That was some guy when I played who ran fast. I never knew anything about Zooming. It is. When you do what I've done for such a long time, and then they take it away from you, they don't take it away. It happened. And there's nothing you can do about it, but hopefully wait, and we'll get through this whole thing, and we'll get back to, I don't know if we'll ever be back to what it was, Tom. I really don't. You've been around a long time too, and covered some of the great events that we've had at the ballpark, whether it be postseason, World Series, I don't care what it is. You've covered it. And I don't think it's ever going to be the same again. I really don't. I hope it is. I hope it gets back to being what we knew baseball. And you remember the times when baseball was our national pastime. Well, when things like this happen and arguments happen and unions fight the ownership, and things like that, sometimes you don't recover. I'm hoping we do. And with what's going on now, I hope it builds up as we move on through these 60 games to the postseason, and fans get back the interest that they had prior to all of these things that happened. In spring training this year, you were there. Crowds were great out in Arizona and Florida too. Once this whole thing started and people realized how serious it was, we didn't think it was that serious at first, but now we know, and hopefully down the road we'll get back. I hope so. I really do.
Congratulations, Uke. I don't know what for, but congratulations. You never told me you knew Arnold Schwarzenegger. Really? God, this is unbelievable. 50,000 empty seats. What a ceremony. You know how we all know people that can get away with things, not many, but a few people that can get away with things that most of us would end up in jail doing. This is one of those. We were in Detroit. I wish I could remember the year, but I guess that doesn't matter. He'll remember. We had a day game. After the game, 6 or 8 of us went to a restaurant. We were there a while. And after that, the hotel was about 4 or 5 blocks away. Now, Detroit, back in those days, kind of shut down at night, so there wasn't nearly as much traffic downtown as there was earlier. So when dinner's over, it's time to leave. We got to go back to the hotel. For whatever reason, Uecker decides to march us back to the hotel. Like a Marine sergeant, he called cadence, told all of us to line up, and we would march back. So we do that. From the sidewalk, we get out to the middle of this 4-lane highway, right down the center. Not a lot of traffic at the time, but there's a few cars. And he's calling cadence. Okay, this is fun. Cop car pulls up. Asks Uecker what we were doing. Uecker says to the policeman, "We're marching. What's it look like we're doing?" The police officer says, "Okay." Pulls his car over to the curb. There were 2 cops in this car. They both get out. Uecker says to them, "What are you guys doing?" They don't really respond, and Uecker tells them to get in line. And they do. One cop at the front of the line, the other at the rear. We march roughly 2 or 3 blocks from that point, led by police officers, to the hotel. Now we get to the hotel, and it has the revolving doors before you go through. One police officer gets on one side of the revolving door, the other on the other side. And as every one of us walks through that revolving door, they salute us and say, "Good luck tomorrow." That's the type of person Bob Uecker is. I'm not sure what type that is, but that's what type he is. He didn't get thrown in jail. None of us got thrown in jail. And we had a lot of fun, and so did the police officers. Certainly one of a kind. We're all very, very lucky to have Uecker here in Milwaukee as long as we have. And again, congratulations.
How you doing? Whoa.